Okay, so Broadcom just released their latest earnings, and wow, it's making some serious waves in the tech world. The numbers are big, sure, but what's really interesting is what this tells us about the whole race to build the future of AI. So let's get into it.
You know, for what feels like forever, when you talked about AI chips, you were really just talking about one company, right? Nvidia. They've been the undisputed king. But the big question now is it really a one-horse race? Because what we're seeing from Broadcom, well, it looks like they're not just knocking on the door anymore. They might be kicking it right off the hinges. All right, first things first, let's talk about the big headline numbers. And to put it mildly, Broadcom didn't just beat expectations. They absolutely blew them out of the water. And this tells us a really interesting story about where AI is going. Just look at that number, $18.02 billion in a single quarter. That is a massive, massive figure all by itself. But it gets even crazier when you compare it to what Wall Street was actually predicting. So the folks who do this for a living, the analysts, they were expecting a pretty good quarter, right? They were thinking somewhere around $17.5 billion in revenue. Well, Broadcom just flew right past that and landed at over $18 billion. And it's the exact same story when you look at their earnings per share. This isn't just good growth. This is a company hitting the accelerator and leaving the expert predictions in the dust. So what's behind this incredible performance? What's the secret sauce here? Well, it all boils down to two letters, AI. The demand for artificial intelligence is just insatiable. And you don't even have to take my word for it. The company's CEO, Hock Tan, said it himself. He expects their AI chip sales to literally double from a year ago in the next quarter. We're not talking about simple, steady growth here. That's what exponential momentum looks like. And hey, this isn't just some pie-in-the-sky forecast. This is already happening. In the quarter they just finished, their AI chip sales jumped by a massive 74% compared to last year. So this isn't about what might happen. It's what's happening right now, today, and it's fueling their business in a huge way. Okay, so when we talk about AI revenue, where's that money actually coming from? Well, it's basically a two-part strategy. First, you've got the custom AI chips they design for specific, huge clients. And second, they make the super high-speed networking gear that lets thousands of those chips talk to each other and act like one giant AI brain. And the best part for them, both of those areas are absolutely on fire right now. With all this success, you have to ask the big question, right? How does Broadcom really stack up against the giant in the room, Nvidia? And this is what's so interesting. Their game plans are completely different. Think of it like this. Nvidia makes these incredibly powerful general-purpose GPUs. It's like the ultimate Swiss Army knife for AI. It can do pretty much anything. Broadcom, on the other hand, makes something called ASICs. These are more like custom-designed surgical tools, built for just one customer to do one specific job, but to do it with unbelievable efficiency. So who's actually buying into this custom-built approach? Well, it's a who's who of big tech. Broadcom has been the secret sauce behind Google's custom chips, their tensor processing units, for years now. They just signed a brand new deal with OpenAI. And then there's this mystery customer who dropped a single order for $10 billion. I mean, talk about a major vote of confidence. Now look, AI is grabbing all the headlines, and for good reason. But it's really important to understand that it's not the whole story for Broadcom. This is a much bigger, more diversified company than a lot of people think. If you look at where their revenue comes from, yeah, the semiconductor side, which includes all those AI chips, is huge, over $11 billion. But look at this other piece, their infrastructure software division. This thing is an absolute beast, especially after they bought VMware. It brought in almost $7 billion on its own. It's like having a second, incredibly powerful engine driving the company forward. So when a company is making this much cash, they have to decide what to do with it all. And Broadcom is sending a very clear message. One of their top priorities is giving that value straight back to the people who own the company, the shareholders. And here's the proof right here. They just announced they're bumping up their quarterly dividend from 59 cents a share to 65 cents a share. And you know, that's not just a nice little bonus for investors. It's a huge signal for management that they are extremely confident about where the company is headed. Okay, so they just had this absolutely incredible quarter. The natural question is, what's next? Well, from the looks of it, they have no plans of slowing down. Not one bit. For the next quarter,
Their official forecast is $19.1 billion. I mean, that's even higher than the record-breaking quarter they just had. And, surprise, surprise, it's way above what the analysts were predicting. It just goes to show you that the AI demand that's fueling all this, yeah, it's not slowing down anytime soon.
And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating big-picture question. You see all these tech giants turning to custom-made chips, the kind Broadcom specializes in. So you have to wonder, is the future of AI something that companies are going to build for themselves, or is it something they're just going to buy off the shelf? That right there, that's the strategic chess match that's going to define the entire tech industry for years to come.